Okay, everybody, welcome back to another Good and Evil Transformers review. The first one of hopefully many to come. Today, we're going to be taking a quick look at Transformers Legacy Evolution Detritus. Now, I'm sure, as a lot of you know, Detritus here is actually the Earthrise Hound mold that we never got. That is to say that this is a heavy remold of the original War for Cybertron Hound, and it's not bad. Despite the fact that this was supposed to be Hound, I actually quite like how this figure turned out. You can see that it's very well managed. There's not a lot of kibble, there's nothing to get in the way of any of the articulation, and the colors are absolutely fantastic on this figure. Getting into the paint, creamy boy, very creamy. Not to my dislike, but I do feel like it's a little bit too raw chicken colored. Accompanying the chicken creamy color, we also have this really nice, bold kind of reddish, chocolatey brown for his arms, his waist, and then down here on his legs and his feet. And then furthermore, accompanying that, we have some red and silver highlights placed throughout the figure. I'm gonna remove his weapons so that we can get a good look at his face. His face paint is spectacular. When I first got this figure, it took me a while to realize that he actually has a painted on goatee. I don't know how well you guys can make that out, but he does have a little gold painted goatee on his chin that runs up the side of his face, and I think that is quite well done for what a minuscule detail that is. Nice red painted eyes, and we even get a little silver up here on his forehead, silver on his headlight nips, and then this front wench piece is actually black but painted gold. They did a fairly decent job of color matching the gold on the wench to the gold on his thighs and his sternum area. Now you may notice this little black smudge right here. That will not be on your copy of the figure. I had actually started trying to customize this guy and immediately didn't like the material that I was using. So once I get the repro labels in, I'm gonna go back and repaint this and do all the stickers and stuff, so be on the lookout for that in the future. Now, you did just see me take this wench off. When you get this figure, yours will be glued on. And if you are trying to take this off to do a custom, be very careful, because I am surprised that I did not break this post. I ended up having to take a screwdriver and wedge it under and pop this thing off, and it went flying across the room, and I didn't find it for hours, y'all, hours. But I did, and well, now we still have a complete detritus. Finally, you do see a little Autobot symbol up here on his left shoulder, paired with, you know, a Decepticon symbol in vehicle mode. Detritus is actually a like a bounty hunter or mercenary character, so faction-wise, he can really be whatever you want. Taking a quick look at the accessories, he comes with 2 guns. They might try to tell you that Detritus actually comes with 3 accessories, because this little tip bullet looking piece here does technically come off of this tan gun. However, it's a tight fit, y'all. And after this, I will probably never take this piece off again, especially because there's no real other place to put it, especially in vehicle mode. I mean, you can stab it onto his back which doesn't look bad, gives him a little Boba Fett look, but not my preferred. Base-wise, here is his shoulder launcher that he comes with, and it's okay. I'm not a huge fan of the waffling here, but the details are nice. My only concern is that all of these are made out of clear plastic, and I worry about how well that is going to hold up over time, but if you're careful with your figures, then you shouldn't have any issue. My main concern is this right here. But as I said, this is never coming off again, so it's not a huge deal. So all painted in clear plastic, or all made of clear plastic, with this being painted in the same creamy tan color. And it's a fairly decent match as well. And then these two bits painted in a soft gold color. There are several ports on this guy where you might be able to attach things. He's got 2 on his shoulders, so if you want to have him, super G1 style, you can, in fact, do that. There are also ports on his shoulders and his forearms, so you can literally plug these guns into anywhere you want. As previously stated, he also has 2 little nubs here, so you can do that if you want to. And as you saw at the beginning of the video, he also has these leg ports, which are mainly for vehicle mode, but that's where I like to keep the gun because I'm weird. Getting into articulation, his head can rotate all the way around, but it can't really look up or down too much, which is disappointing, but it's fine. His arms can go all the way out. They can rotate 360. You get a bicep swivel. You get 90 degrees at the elbow, and then you'd also get a nice wrist swivel. You also, due to transformation, can give him some shoulder movement, which actually looks quite all right. Waist articulation, his legs go forward and back as much, if not more than you need. Also all the way out. You get a thigh swivel at the top of the thigh, and then a super good knee bend. His wheel kind of gets in the way, but due to transformation, this is very accessible. And then feet, you don't get any real forward or back movement except maybe in the toe a little bit, but these feet, mostly all they do is pivot, which if they were to have any motion at all, an ankle pivot is probably preferred, although a rotation would have been nice as well, but that's no biggie. I have to say the main problem that I have with this guy in robot mode is that, especially on this leg, I don't really have a problem with this one, but this one, the wheel tab likes to come undone. It doesn't feel the most secure. Like I can push it in there and there's still a gap right there, whereas there's not one over here. This is also really flimsy plastic. Like you see how thin that is, and it doesn't give me the best feel. And I worry that if any part of this figure is going to break, it's going to be these side panels. So let's get that back in, and then we'll do some size comparisons. So, not surprising, he is the exact same size as Orion Pax here, which I have painted up as the character Magnum. Based on the same mold, they are the exact same size. What was surprising is that here he is with the Universe Hound mold, and he is just about the same size as Hound. So if you are looking to mix and match your collection, if you're looking for a good Earth mode Hound, this Universe figure will fit in rather well. So getting into transformation. If you have the previous figures, you should be pretty familiar with how this transforms. It's pretty much exactly the same, minus the little canopy section on the back here. So to start out, remove any of the weapons that you have. Let's take it to the legs. So very carefully undo the tabs in there and straighten them out all the way. And we will come back to them in a second. Moving up to the shoulders, let's take them and they will lock in these little clips right there. And we can go ahead and lift up his head. Into the gun ports, you will tab in these two little nubs, and they fit in there quite well. Let's go ahead and take these arms and fold them in. And you want to make sure that there's some tab or slot that you have to make sure is correct. I think this is the correct orientation, but we shall find out together. So once you get the arms situated, go ahead and rotate these leg pieces up like so, and then you can tab them together right here in the back, and then tab them into the same shoulder slots that we previously used. Well, just pretend that I did this on this side as well, and we'll be golden. Just if it doesn't work, just smush it and squeeze it until it goes. And then yes, I was correct. So you want to make sure that the waffling on the forearms is facing out, and there are two little slots right here, and they will peg onto these little nubs here on the bottom or the backs of the feet. So just go ahead and take those and smush them in, and you can orient the fists however you desire. It would probably be best to rotate them inward just so you don't have fingers hanging out. And find the hole, there we go. And then last but not least, you want to take his toes and just flip them into the vehicle. Here is the base mode of, I almost called him Hound. Here's the vehicle mode for Detritus. So let's bring back his weapons, and we can utilize the leg ports to go ahead and throw those on. Now, naturally, you can use the side leg ports, and in vehicle mode, you get two new ones, which were on the bottoms of his feet. So you can plug weapons pretty much anywhere you desire. And it's an okay vehicle mode. Have we seen worse? Yes. Have we seen better? Yes. The main issue that I take with this is that the rear end is very, very hollow, and you can see right through the back here. There's no alleviating that whatsoever, which is kind of unfortunate, but I'm not going to have this figure displayed in vehicle mode anyway, so it's not the greatest of issues. He rolls pretty well. All of these wheels are the same, and they're just clipped on the insides, but they get the job done. I don't mind seeing the arms down here. It would be nice if they weren't, but they do blend in, and because they're a darker color, they are less noticeable. Paint-wise, there's no real new paint on this vehicle mode, except for the Decepticon symbol that we get. This piece here is a weird combination of black plastic and clear plastic. I think what they did was the actual frame of this windshield is the black plastic, and then they added this windshield from a separate clear plastic, which is an excellent way to do things and alleviates my worry that this may crack eventually. For some vehicle mode comparisons, there's Detritus, and here he is again with the Universe Hound. And still not terribly off size of each other. Hound is just a little bit bigger because of all the stuff he's got on him, but they do match up pretty well if that's something that you're looking for. And just to show it, I'm going to show you guys the transformation back really quick. Remove weapons, obviously. I guess you technically don't have to, but as one might suspect, you literally just undo all the work that you just did. So take these arms and unpeg them first so that you can access these wheels. And again, not the best feeling. This one over here is incredibly tight. Golly. So now that the horrors are over, go ahead and rotate these legs, unpeg them, and bring them down out of the way. Take the arms, fold them out, fold them as far as they can go so that you can bring down his chest here. There's a little slot right there and a little tab on the inside of this cavity. It tabs in, not the most securely, but it does. Take his wind visor, rotate it to his back, and then these little slots here are going to tab into and click into his shoulders. Rotate the forearms to the front, rotate the hands if that is something that you did. Hopefully that should be fairly obvious to you. And then flip out his toes and rotate these bits up. There's a tab on the inside of his knee right here that will go into this slot right here. So just make sure everything is lined up and flatten out his feet. And there you are. So final thoughts on this figure. I am very happy to have this very obscure character in my collection. For those of you who were hoping for Hound, who are missing out on Hound, there are other options out there for you. I know we've got a 5-pack coming out with some other Autobots. Please don't go spending buckets of money because it's not worth it. This one will suffice if you need a Hound in your collection. But Detritus here, despite being mostly reuse or remolding, is actually quite well done. The articulation is great. The paint and the colors work very, very well. I do have my problems in vehicle mode and a little bit in robot mode, but that's mostly just with this leg bit here. The plastic does feel a little thin, and that may become a problem over time, but it is what it is. I do also kind of wish that he got a new head sculpt, but that's more of a G1 thing as opposed to a current Hasbro thing. So I picked this figure up for standard retail price, which was about $25. Is it worth $25? Maybe. For the obscurity of the character, I appreciate. I like that we're getting obscure characters. So otherwise, this character might not have gotten a figure. I'm gonna give it you know what? I'm going to give it 23 out of 25 because I would happily pay $23. If you see this guy at retail, pick him up. He's pretty cool, but if you see him, especially if he's discounted, absolutely pick him up because then he is definitely worth it. But yes, that concludes the review for Transformers, Not Earthrise, Legacy, Junkion Detritus. Hope you guys enjoyed. Like, comment, subscribe, lick your elbow, and I will see you guys in another video. Bye.